Hi there and welcome to my craft room. Today I'm going to show you how to make these neat 3D looking flowers out of flat stamped images using a little sneak peek of the brand new Pemberly line from Close to My Heart. That's not available until February 1st, 2012. Okay, this is really cool. I just love this technique. It's so easy. I started with a flat stamp. If you cannot see this image well, grab the stamp set. It comes from the also new card word puzzle from Close to My Heart. Here are all the images included on it. All these great words you can put together for different cards, and this down here is the flower image we're using. The papers, as I said, come from the new Pemberly line. It comes with the cardstock and all the pattern papers. There are 6 sheets, but what these are is front and back the same on 3 different sheets. Okay, so here's front, back. And the cool thing is on every one of these, they have along the top a little zip strip, which is plain on one side with a pattern on the other, so that you can cut that off for an extra little stripe effect or a border kind of a deal. Now for me, I happen to prefer to purchase what's called the Workshop on the Go because it's more economical for me and it's a good way to budget for a monthly amount. They're $29.95 for the Workshops on the Go, and for this particular collection you get the Pemberly paper packet, which I just showed you the patterns, plus there's coordinating cardstock. It comes with a stamp set, which is not the one I used for this technique today. This is the stamp set that comes with the Workshop on the Go for this one. This flower here is right in that flowery pattern paper that I showed you, and the others coordinate really nicely with the paper as well. It also comes with these nifty bouquet assortment embellishments. They're like a molded resin or plastic little 3D flowers in colors to match. And then also the brand new Bitty Opaques. These are just adhesive little pearls. It comes with 100. You can see I've already used several, making lots of these little flowers here. Okay, and then it also comes with, for those of us who need some assistance in our designs, it comes with this neat little instructional booklet. Okay, which will give you a full instructions for a full 2-page layout. It gives you all the cutting diagrams, okay, and step-by-step instructions for anything that they want stamped or anything like that. There is also a second coordinating layout here that you can get the directions for online, and a bonus project, which for this one is a set of cards, and they tell you exactly what additional materials you would need to complete that bonus project. Okay, so enough of that garbage. On to this really cool technique on this card. I love, love, love this. All you need are a couple of pieces of scrap. I used cardstock here. My design here, I used the pattern paper, which also has a really, really cool feel to it. What you're going to do is just stamp your flower image twice on the same paper. For one, you are going to cut out what would seem to be like the center of the flower, which could stand on its own. So in this particular case, like a rose bud, and you're just going to cut it completely out. Okay? And then for the second one, you're just going to cut out along the entire outside. Okay, just slightly outside of those lines. And I find it is easier if you use a darker contrasting ink to do this technique with than if you were trying to do tone on tone. It's just easier to follow. What we're going to do is we're going to use a craft knife. You can use any kind of like X-Acto knife, like this little retractable blade, or the standard X-Acto knives. I happen to prefer this little Fiskars cutter that slides on my finger. Oops, sorry, I always do that backwards. It just gives me a little more control when I'm cutting, and for this technique that's pretty important. Okay. Okay, so what we're going to do, I always do the center first. You're just going to pick a few of the petals to cut around. Like, I will not do the bottom because those should not be standing up to me. Those to me should be, you know, they're going to be laying back. So I picked a couple here, and all you do is kind of follow just outside of that stamped ink line that you're going to trace and cut with your craft knife around and stop. Okay, so I did one there and I did one here on the other side. And then all I do is you kind of pop them up, and I use a thumbnail, which mine is usually longer than this, and I just kind of press the edges up, just the very edge, just a little bit, on both the cut petals that I made. And don't worry about how you can kind of see the black through here if you look really close, because once you get these layered up, you're not even really going to notice it. Okay, so I just kind of do both of the cut petals, and then I also do all of the outside edges, and I will skip that part for now. Okay, so when you go to cut your petals on the large flower, you're not going to want to cut anything that's from this center image because it's just going to be covered up anyway. Okay, so I chose to trace around a petal on this side and a petal on this side, and again, you do the same thing. You're just going to kind of push up around the very edges of those petals with your finger against a thumbnail or a fingernail, or you know, any other kind of implement if you have no thumbnails like I happen to have right now. And then all I do is I just grab some adhesive squares. Like one in the center is probably good enough for this particular image because it's pretty small. You just line it up with where it belongs on your base image, pop it up. Okay, then you can embellish as desired. Like I did here, I added the little mini pearls, and I just use the blade side of these little micro tip scissors. I find it very easy to just kind of scoop those up off the plastic with there, and then when you lay them down and you press with another finger, and it's much easier to get them placed that way. Just be careful you don't poke yourself. Those ends are very sharp on those micro tip scissors. Alright, so then I used a neutral base behind it, which if it showed through would look kind of like more flowers underneath of it. Okay, but you can see when you're looking at this kind of dead on, you don't really notice those cut marks that we made that you can see through there, because it's all laying, you know, kind of flat, and it's not as noticeable because of having the similar shade behind it. Okay, so all I did here was use those little bitty opaques in the spot where all those circles are on the stamens on the flowers, and I just added them on there. It's just a really cool, very rich texture-y kind of a feel added onto there. Okay, if you need details on anything else regarding this card, it is on my blog at savingmine.blogspot.com. That's savingmine.blogspot.com. If you are interested in purchasing any of the materials I used today and you do not currently have a close to my heart consultant, I would love to have you as my customer. And that website for shopping is www.ctmh.com/Lori Brown, LORIBROWN. Thanks for stopping by today, and I hope to see you back again sometime soon.